Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chasing the Card. Today we got Mr. Des Thomas again with us. Then we're going to be talking with Benjamin McDaniel. So let's bring him on. Hey Ben, appreciate you being on the show today, man. How's everything going?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you bet, man. I heard a lot of good things. Hey, if you don't mind, just kind of want to start out kind of like we do everything, just kind of see how you got into bodybuilding and where you come from and how you ended up where you are right now.
I think I ended up in bodybuilding by accident, actually. Um, yeah. I used to be quite the reckless teenager, and I
Yeah,
was in a lot of trouble, pretty constantly.
sure.
And the gym was an outlet for me to, I don't know, focus that energy somewhere else that was more positive. And then it really took off, and I was good at it. I didn't have much trouble putting on muscle. And me and Dez actually used to work out at UCA in the hyper a whole lot. So that's how
Oh
I
yeah,
met him. And I don't know, just watching people like that just take off with building muscle, man. It was like, okay, I got into it and I got competitive about it. And then the last year, I just had a lot going on, and it was a way for me to take away from that. And I got into it, did a show last year, and I loved it. And now I'm just pursuing to do, even more with
yeah.
Right.
Now, was there like a bodybuilder that you saw that said, "Hey, man, I want to get into working out," at the hyper, or you just found that that was a way to release and kind of get away from what you were
it.
doing?
Was more just a release, man. Like I said,
Yeah,
I was good at it. So after that, I was like, well, maybe I'll get into it. And then so I started looking at Instagram, following all these guys that were huge. And I'm like, okay, all right. So that's the goal. There's
yeah,
people out there bigger and better. And so I was just chasing that.
sure.
Okay, what year was it you buckled down and started taking things more serious? And I know it's 2020 now, it's early. So what do you remember what year it actually was?
I think I've always been serious about everything I do. Anything I do, I put so much effort into. So it's just been a gradual thing where I've learned more and more. Um, like I started out with a pretty, I wouldn't say strict diet, but I thought it was strict. And, I just learned to add more and more to it. The same
Mhm.
thing working out in the regimen. Like I was just adding more and more intense workouts to what I was doing already.
Mhm.
Um, to the point where it became serious. So I think it was a
Mhm.
gradual
Yeah,
thing. But I always focused and put so much effort into it that I would say I was always serious about it. I just wasn't focused on bodybuilding when I started.
Okay.
yeah. Now I'm gonna ask you this, and you don't have to answer, but you're, you said you're a little reckless. Now a lot of us have been reckless now.
Uh-huh.
So what was it that you were reckless about? I mean, what kind of background was it?
Um,
Alcohol? For me, it was alcohol.
it was drugs. It was drugs.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, like most of my friends, I say friends, people I used to run around with, I'd say
yeah,
half of them
yeah.
are dead. The other half are in jail, in prison. So I would
Wow.
have been that statistic. And so, like I said, I was able to kind of turn that around and focus that energy, that aggression somewhere else. And
Heck
that's where
yeah,
this came from. So
man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Good for you.
Do you have like a specific moment that you feel like, you know what, uh, I'm done with this old life, and I'm really like, do you have like a turning point to where something happened, or just like just an instance of where you said, you know what, I'm laying this down, I'm going somewhere else.
well, it was in 2014 when I really turned it around. So I've been at this for about 6 years. Um, I was just tired of waking up every morning, looking at myself in the mirror, and being like, "You're just wasting your talent." I'm extremely intelligent. Right now, I'm in college. Got a
Yeah,
3.9. On top of that, I pretty much taught myself most of this bodybuilding all on my own. So I have intelligence, have a lot of self, drive, motivation to do things, and I just got tired of wasting my talent. And so in
Mhm.
2014, it kind of just snapped with me. It was kind of like, man, get it together, or like I said, I was going to end up dead or in prison. So that was pretty much it.
All right.
yeah. What was it tough to leave that lifestyle? I mean, to really leave it 100%. Get rid of you change your friends, change people you ran around with?
I wasn't having fun. So was it hard to leave that? No. Is it hard to build a whole new life from the ground up? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that was the hardest part. Not having any friends and just trying to stay away from everything I was doing. Uh,
Yeah.
they're just a phone call away. So yeah, that was tough. But I mean, bodybuilding, I think, and not just bodybuilding, but just the focus of working out and staying healthy. I'm like an all or nothing kind of person. So when I put it all into that, I started meeting a whole different crowd of people that had the same interest in mine. And I mean, it just took off. So I just built it basically, I built my new life almost around bodybuilding, I would say.
Okay. All right. So with that said, man, this was your first competition. I was up there. Great job, man. It was really good to see you up there, having a good time on stage and being able to, do that first competition. So let's talk a little bit about that. The decision you made kind of closer to the show just to do it, just kind of tell us what kind of pushed you into doing this last competition and just your overall experience doing it.
I was having a hard year last year, and I really just wanted to take my mind off that. And so I was in the gym, and we were about 5-6 weeks out from that Arkansas State show. And a couple guys in the gym were saying, I think if you put a lot of effort into it right now, you could make it. You could get on stage and look really good. And I didn't realize at the time really what all that consisted of. And I was like, okay, cool, sure, why not? Let's do it. And so for 5 weeks solid, man, I dragged my butt into that gym twice a day. I didn't miss a day. I don't know if I slept at all through that 5 weeks, but I mean, I did everything I could to make sure that I produced the best package on that stage. And it really helped. I mean, it's helped a lot. It helped with my confidence, helped just how I see myself. And I feel like what I'm doing in the gym is effective. So I'm not sitting there wasting my time every day when I go in there. So I got a new outlook on just the way I train. And I'm glad I did it, man. I'm glad I did it. And this year I'm looking forward. Hopefully this coronavirus stuff calms down. Competition's coming around, and I was planning on doing the Arkansas State, so we'll see. But just haven't done that competition. Like, I'm just ready to stack more onto my plate and do maybe 2 or 3 this year and keep it rolling.
Yeah. I've not seen anything posted from the Arkansas State yet to when they have pushed it out. Have you seen the dates for that show?
I haven't been keeping.
I've been looking, but I haven't seen what they've said.
I imagine right now everything's subject to change. We don't know when the end of, coronavirus deadline and staying at home is. So until then,
Yeah. Now, how are you handling that with you working out?
It's been rough. Doing the best I can. I actually work at UCA, and I work for the athletic department.
Okay.
And so I got the okay to work out where the athletes work out.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's almost like a full gym, pretty much.
Yeah.
So training really hasn't slowed down for me.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that said, man, I noticed that, like I say, around the time that you were getting serious into, like I said, the competitive stage and competing, your girlfriend, Jordan, was also doing it too. So do you guys enjoy the aspect of like just living that lifestyle together? Or like I say, do you kind of try to separate your shows that you're planning on doing? Like, how do you blend together just the whole competitive aspect being in a relationship?
So last year we did shows that were, let's see, 2.5 months apart. The Arkansas State, and then the one in Little Rock, August. So it's like July, August. So that's 2 months. This year we were planning on doing shows that were probably the same date. And so I'm not sure how that's going to go so far. It is helpful to basically be on the same diet. We don't have cheap foods, in this house. So the temptation's not there. We both get up and have the same routine, go to the gym together. So it kind of is accountability for both of us. We haven't, like I said, we haven't faced prep yet, so I don't know how that's going to go. I know I'm going to be probably the worst one. She handles herself really well.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of really, we'll see. It's going to be up to me on how that goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So are you working with a coach, or are you doing this by yourself, or how's that going with you, man?
So Brooke Walker, IFBB Pro here in Conway, she's been helping coach me this year and monitor me. Last year, I pretty much had 5 weeks. I had a buddy help me prepare for that show.
Oh, you did?
Everything
Okay.
else was on my own before that. So this year, I do have her helping me monitor my diet and workouts and everything, and we made quite a bit of progress. I think as far as bulking goes, we'll see. I think I'm going to have put on at least maybe 5-10 pounds. So it's been a successful year so far with her.
Now, what division are you going to compete in? Are you going to cross over?
I'm too big. Race is too big too. I'm not really built for classic. I got giant capped shoulders, so we're gonna stick in the bodybuilding. But I might be a heavier class this year. We'll see. So I think last year I competed in heavyweights.
You did. So are you looking like a super heavy? Are you going to be that heavy?
We'll see. We'll see. I came in at 207 last year. I think the top was like 220. So I don't know. I don't know where I'll shred down to.
Yeah. So you dropped down to 207?
Yes.
Is where you went to? Yeah. Yeah. So that's a lower end of the heavyweight.
Yeah. I think it's 200 to 220. And so, honestly, with 5 weeks, that's not enough. I probably could have shredded a lot more.
That's a hard quick prep.
Yeah. So
what were you doing with that short amount of time? Like you said, you were going to the gym twice a day, and you're saying you were training weights twice a day, or were you cardio twice a day? Like what do we mean there?
Fasted cardio every day for 5 weeks. Didn't miss it. Got up, 4 o'clock in the morning. Went and did fasted cardio. I think there was 2 days I took off from weight training, and a lot of that is just I was going light and just getting big pumps. And then had it, I had all my muscle groups spread out so far apart that I was fine there, and I may have been pushing it too much. But I only missed 2 days out of the gym that I didn't lift weights in that 5 weeks, and I felt like death on my last week. But
I believe it.
Yeah.
It caught up to me pretty quick. After about 2 weeks of that, there was no energy at all. I just dragged myself.
What kind of diet did you do in that 5 weeks? Did you switch to like a keto type diet, or?
I think so. My carbs are low. I'd kind of been playing around with my macros throughout the year and kind of seeing what works for me and how to get so lean. And I wouldn't say I was 5 weeks out, but my carbs are pretty low. And then I'd say after 2 weeks, we dropped it to about no carbs whatsoever. And I want to say within that second week, we were kind of playing around with carbs, and I could feel my body going in and out of keto. That's awful.
Yeah.
So then we just went.
That's awful.
Yeah. So then we went to keto, and I was still just pushing it out, just no pumps really. But the weight was just falling off like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. But you were just doing cardio fasted in the morning. The rest of it was weight training.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What type of split do you typically follow whenever you? Okay. What typical split did you typically follow? Like, were you just doing the basics? So you said you were doing training every day, so 7 days a week, or were you training 6 days a week? Weight wise.
I was really going with what my body felt, so it was 7 days a week. I can't even remember the split, to be honest. I think it was more traditional, like back bicep, chest triceps. I think there were days I did legs and shoulders together. It's kind of more, I went with what I felt like I needed, and with where my body was recovered from. If there was something that was sore, I wasn't going to hit it.
Okay. Good.
Now, how'd you end up placing in the Arkansas?
I got third in novice.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, third in novice and fourth in open. And everybody I was on stage with has been doing this for years and years. So I felt really good with that placement. For 5 weeks and just first show, I was happy with that. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Anytime especially in the first show, when you make the top 5 in your first show, that's you killed it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So with that said,
Especially when
what was the experience like whenever you were just 5 weeks to prep, got to get your trunks, got to get everything signed up, never been spray tanned before, all that stuff. That experience is crammed in together so close. Like, how was it for you just that quick, and then just turning around and already being show day?
One, I'll never do it again. I would never do that again.
Yeah.
Two, it was like tunnel vision. I'm like here, and things are just flying through. Looking back on it, I'm proud of myself. That it's awesome. What
you should
in 5 weeks? It's awesome. When my friends talked me into that, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and it wasn't a joke so much to them, but it was kind of like, let's see what he can do. And we didn't really tell him all the details. Like, we didn't tell him, like, most people take 12 weeks to do that. So to say that I accomplished that, and then like you said, placing, awesome, absolutely awesome. I look back on that experience, like, is probably one of the coolest things I've ever achieved, and at the same time, one of the hardest things I've ever put myself through.
Mm. Cool.
Yeah. Now, is there a pro bodybuilder that you kind of look at and say, I would like for my physique to look like that? That's the kind of the way I want to be.
I'm jealous of the classic guys. I really love the way Chris Bumstead looks.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Everybody. But if I had to pick a bodybuilder, I love Jay Cutler. Always have. And so I studied a lot about him and just his workouts and everything. And I followed some of the workouts he did and paid for some of them. And I don't know. He's probably my favorite bodybuilder. He doesn't lift too heavy, but he just constantly is able to put on muscle. And I'm fascinated by that. So.
Yeah. So what's your training style right now then? Ben, are you doing more volume? Or are you doing more like progressive overload, or is it a combination, or how are you training right now?
I'll stick to volume. I love getting big pumps. Lifting heavy's never really been too big on the way I train. And with that, I mean, with a lot of volume, I'm throwing in drop sets and just rest pause, things like that. That's how I prefer to train. If it's not 12, 15 reps, sometimes I don't know that I feel like I got a great workout. I keep that pump going, and I try to keep that time down between sets and just go through it as fast as possible. That's how I like to train.
Yeah. So what do you keep your rest time in between sets at? What do you try to keep it?
30 seconds to a minute, depends on how heavy I'm lifting and how much time I've got, to finish a whole workout. Like right now I've been training with an hour to get in and out on a lunch break. And so there I'm trying to keep my rest time down to 30 seconds, keep the pump going. And I'm not lifting as heavy as I normally would, but I get that full workout in there.
Yeah. Now, so what do you exactly do at UC? I know you work. What did you say you work in with the athletes? You work in the strength.
So I actually do athletic maintenance. I take care of all the athletic fields, stadiums. I make sure everything's prepared for their games. Which right now, everything's shut down, so there's not much to do at work. But with that, I basically keep this job to help me pay for school, and so I'm getting 80% off tuition. I'm getting a college pretty much for free. And so it's definitely worth it. But right now, nothing. We're not doing much of anything. And so right now, all I got to do is work out.
How much farther along do you have to go, school-wise, where you actually, since you say 80% off tuition, how much longer do you have to go?
I'm starting my upper level courses in the fall, and so I'm hoping 2 years. I'm hoping 2 years left.
What's the plan upon graduation?
I'm getting a degree in finance, which is weird. I think I'm more interested actually in kinesiology and the way the body works. But the plan is eventually to own my own business and hopefully own my own gym. So I feel like I picked a path where I can go that direction. I enjoy training, and I'm sure I would enjoy training others at some point as well. So the goal is ultimately to have my own gym. I don't know where I'll end up, but if I can do that and train others and maybe put some of the happiness and confidence in their lives like I've done in mine. That's the ultimate goal.
Wow.
Now, are you coaching anybody right now, or are you just kind of focused on you and that's it?
I have a client right now that I'm working with, and I'm helping him lose some weight. And so it's the first thing I've really ever tackled as far as taking on someone else and training them. And so I'm just working with his diet, and he's lost a substantial amount of weight so far. So that's kind of where I got this interest into helping others and training others. It's just right now it's I don't have much time on my plate with school and work and training.
Yeah.
So that's all I can do right now.
Yeah. Man, but that's awesome. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's better not to overload yourself with clients, especially when you're in school working and trying to compete yourself.
I just want to give him my 100%. And if I started loading myself down with clients, I would be able to do that. So, yeah.
So what is the plan on just how far do you plan on like bodybuilding? What's your projected just the outlook on how far you plan on going with it? Like, you see this as something you're going to be doing for a long time? Is it just kind of like a live in the moment thing? Like, how far are we planning on going with it?
I think there's a lot of factors that go into that. I think the ultimate factor is when it's not fun anymore. At some point in my life, I'm sure I want to have kids and just add a bunch of things there. And if it becomes the case where I just can't put as much effort into it that it needs to have, then, I have to stop. Right now, it's as fun as it gets. So for me, I'm prepared for the fact that it might not be forever, but there's no end in sight right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, what's your favorite body part? When you look at yourself in the mirror, you say, "Man, that's freaking awesome."
That's hard, man. The whole package. I'd say my legs. I say my legs. I get more compliments on my legs than anything else. And Des knows what I'm talking about. Des is the same way, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's just one of the muscles a lot of people don't have. And man, I'll be honest. I wear a lot of short shorts all the time, show them off, and that's my favorite.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with short shorts. Nothing wrong with
that. I've always heard if guys can wear shorts and they have big legs, then their upper body's going to be good too.
Absolutely.
But if they cover the legs,
hey, you gotta have some support, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have it.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Yeah, so when you get my age, you kind of got to keep them covered. They don't respond too well anymore. Well, now you're looking at, depending on what happens with, everything that's going on right now, how are you trying to keep your diet right now? I mean, because we don't know if it's going to be July. We don't know when shows are going to open up. A lot of them are getting pushed out to August. So are you kind of bulking right now? Or where are you keeping your diet?
So I started to cut my carbs down until I was able to get back in the gym this week. So I was keeping my carbs a little lower, but I mean, everything's staying consistent. Like, you got to keep the diet consistent. And so even though the training kind of lost its way there for about a week or two, I was still doing my best to train at home and train at a buddy's gym, home gym. But now that, I have that ability to get back in the gym, I mean, I'm just going to ramp it back up, get the carbs back up to normal, and just keep going.
You are.
And then when we start seeing shows, we'll start planning on cutting down. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you are shooting for the Arkansas though, the Arkansas then the All South.
I just want to do better than I did last year, so kind of I would like to step back on that stage. Last year was really more just to get my feet wet. I think this year is more to be competitive about it. And I was planning to do another show around that time. So like I said, I just don't know what it's going to look like moving forward. So we'll see. I might end up just shooting for the one in Little Rock and doing another show around that time, like a weekend before or a weekend after.
Yeah. So, it's kind of good if that's going to be your main show. It's always kind of good to have a little primer, probably before, if you can.
Yeah.
Just to kind of go through the motions, pose a little bit, and get ready for the next
Well,
one.
I've heard if you don't hit your peak, you get another chance at it. So that's kind of just keeping them close like that. If I don't hit the first one, then maybe I come in a little better on the second.
Yep, that's right. That's exactly right. Now, what's your girlfriend doing for training? Is she able to train with you at UCA, or how's she
Well,
training?
she's a graduate, so I figure it's okay for me to take her up there. So she's been going with me. I mean, she's been doing the same thing I'm doing. Anything that she can to basically stay in shape right now. With everything going on, she's doing it. Her diet's on point. I mean, I say on point. We've probably had a couple cheat meals here and there. Just sitting at the house, it's kind of hard with the temptations there, and everybody's delivering to your door. But, she's staying on top of her training and her diet, and she's gonna be prepared just like I am.
Yeah. Now, is she with your coach too?
Yeah.
Or is she?
Yes.
Who she is?
She actually, I don't know if she did 15. She did a whole prep from like January on into the show that she did in September with Brooke. So she's had a whole lot of time with Brooke. Brooke knows everything, how her body responds to pretty much everything, and so she's still with her, and yeah, Brooke's got her down to the T pretty much.
Okay, how long have you currently been working with Brooke?
Probably since like, let's see, probably right around September last year.
Okay. We've had some time, definitely.
Yeah.
That's good. Like I say, the longer you can work with the coach, more they learn, more they pick up on things and diets, what responds, type of training that you're doing. That's all really good. So like I say, something that I've learned over time is really just having that connection with the coach is always good in the end. So
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Now, right now, are you putting a lot of healthy fats in your diet, or are you just, kind of focusing on carbs and protein, or how do you have your diet structured?
So we're doing 7 meals a day right now. My body responds really well to sugars, so she's added quite a bit of sugars in to my diet on top of other complex carbs. I mean, it's pretty much just the normal carbs. I mean, rice, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, pastas, and then I'm trying to get the healthy fats in there. And I go through almond butter like crazy. That's my go-to. I pretty much like my dessert with most meals. So I have at least like a serving of that with, let's see, 5 meals of the day. So I'm getting my fats in there too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Talking to Dez, and I like to bring it up because Dez, has sometimes, he'll blend his food and drink it because he knows he's got to get it down. I mean, how do you handle, it's kind of, I was talking to my wife again about it last night. He just cracks me up what he does. But, I mean, how do you handle that have you ever just sat there and looked at a meal and said, God, I hate this freaking meal. I can't get it down. Then you just force it down. I mean, how do you handle that?
I don't think you're a bodybuilder if you haven't been there.
Yeah.
There are days, especially with the rice. I'm sitting here eating chicken and rice right now, that I take a whole lot of water and I just try to, down it. You know what I'm saying? There's that, like breakfast. I blend it up in the morning. I'm sick of it.
Oh, you
Oh
do?
yeah, I hate eggs. I hate it. But at this point,
I one, James.
I don't know I don't know how you guys do that.
So I blend it up in there with oatmeal and all sorts of stuff, and I just down it, and it just is what it is. I also don't get up early enough to just sit there and eat it. So now I haven't really tried blending like meats and like rice and all that stuff, but I know it can be done. So if at some point I get desperate, we'll probably see how that goes. But there's plenty of meals where I just sit there and I'm like, I don't want this, but I'm gonna eat it. My body needs it, and let's just keep making gains. So sometimes the mentality, keeping that in mind, like, hey, I need this, my body needs this, and it just make it go down.
Do you feel like the simplicity is something that's easier or hard for you to do? Like some people, prefer variety, or are you more so like, look, as long as it's the same thing every day, I can just stick with it. It's easier for me. I mean, that's how I am personally, the more old school way. So what do you think about yourself?
Every meal is different. The macros are pretty consistent. But having that variety in there, like I said, I do a different carb for every meal, a different meat for every meal, or protein. So yeah, every meal is the same every day, kind of deal. But yeah, having 7 different varieties throughout the day is kind of enough for me, I guess, to confuse my brain and hey, this is something new, this is something new, this is something new every day. Um, and that's enough for me to just keep going.
Man, so I'm not used. I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not used to that. I mean, pretty much I eat chicken. I'll eat chicken and I'll eat some beef, and that's about it. Uh, I don't like fish. I hate fish. Are you putting fish into your diet right now, or
Tilapia and cod.
tilapia and
Usually my
cod?
last meal of the day. Well, I have a shake before bed, with casein protein in it. So before that,
Oh yeah.
typically is I guess my dinner per se. I usually eat some kind of white fish and just vegetables, and sometimes I'll throw in red
Yeah.
potatoes with it. Um, I love tilapia, to be honest. Tilapia, I love salmon. I burnt myself out on salmon for a while, so I kind of changed up the
Woo.
fish. Went through cod for a while, and now I'm on tilapia. Got some mahi mahi in the fridge, so I keep that one kind of changed up. I think dinner's probably the one I play with every day, and as long as I change up that one meal and kind of keep it a little different, it makes everything else a little easier on me.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I don't know how you guys. I mean, I don't know. You guys, I just can't eat the fish, man. I mean, I do it in prep. I don't like it, but only when I'm in prep. When I'm in off season, I can't. I can't put it. I just can't do
Do you
it.
not even do salmon? Like
I cannot do salmon.
Wow.
salmon's not even
I
like
refuse.
tilapia. It's like not even the same world. It's tilapia to me. Like
Yeah,
salmon is like is the fats in it. Just when it's cooked, just when
yeah.
it's grilled, man. You're missing out, man. I don't know what to tell you. No.
I can't even bring it. I get the fork about right there, and that's about as far as it's going. I don't know how you guys do it, man.
Yeah.
Now, when you do your tilapia, Ben, are you baking it? Are you lightly frying it, or how you doing
So
that?
yeah, I baked the whole meal. I put it all. Let's see. Uh, I put some lemon pepper seasoning on it. I just love that.
Yeah.
Lemon on fish to me is absolutely. I mean, it's key. Uh, and then yeah, I bake it. Bake it the red potatoes and some asparagus all together. 30
Yeah.
minutes, good to go.
Yeah. Now, normally, when we're not in the situation we're in, when you're in your regular gym and you're working out, now, do you have workout partners? You like to work out kind of by yourself, or?
Um, I think I focus better when I'm on my own by myself. Um, I get to talking too much in the gym, to be honest with you. So I can either work my jaw or I can work my muscles.
That's it.
And especially when I'm in prep, man, I don't have the energy to talk to somebody. I don't have the energy. I have just enough energy to focus on what I'm doing. And so for me, like I stay in the zone better if I'm working out by myself. I don't mind working out with someone else, but it's kind of one of those things, put your headphones in and let's just keep going. Like I don't want to be talking and so that just kind of depends on who I'm with and who I'm working out with. I enjoy working out with others, but it won't be as serious as my own regimen
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, and I can relate to that myself, man. It's one of those things that if somebody can't match your energy or the type of the drive or the focus that you have when you're training, it's always going to hold you back. I don't care what anybody says. If that person's not
Yeah.
mentally on the same level as you are when it comes to training, the intensity, being able to withstand the pain and things like that, it's always going to hold you back. And you're going to notice it. So it's going to be in your mind the whole time, while you're training. So I can understand that definitely, when it comes to training by yourself. And like I said, there's very few people that I've been able to just train with to where everything is matched, to where there's just not any type of
Yeah.
distractions at all. So I 100% know what you mean.
Yeah. And hey, Ben, when you go in, you put your headphones in. I mean, what are you listening to to keep your intensity up? What kind of do you listen to music? Do you listen to podcasts, or what do you do to keep you focused?
Gangster rap.
Gangster rap.
uh,
I was talking to this girl that we interviewed, and she just listens to murder podcast, how to solve murders. That's what, people think she's listening to music, but she's trying to listen to those type of podcasts.
I think I get a little distracted if I was doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to have something, I don't listen to gangster rap, but I do listen to heavy metal, or rock, some kind of rock to keep my energy up, my intensity up.
It's
So,
more just the beats for me. It's not so much the words, but just that pace is what I'm used to with rap music and the beats and stuff. And that's just kind of, I guess, what sounds tune me into what I'm doing and get me going. And so that's my style, man.
Now, do you guys find that, y'all put on some size, you're looking real good, you're getting big? I mean, do people come up to y'all a lot in the gym and just want to ask advice and just kind of pick your brain about things? And if they do, I mean, how do y'all deal with that?
I remind myself to stay humble. It happens a lot, and I was in their spot at one point, and I asked a bunch of questions. So I just remind myself of that, and that's what I tell people too that ask those questions to me is that's how you learn things. You got to ask questions. And so I just remind myself I was in their shoes at one point, and I try to answer their questions. And a lot of times, if they're not serious enough, and I start answering their questions, I just go on, and they're like, okay, I got all I wanted. So, I don't mind sharing knowledge with anyone, and I know I don't know it all, and I'm going to continue to ask questions with people that are better than me. So if I'm doing it, it's okay for someone else to do it. So there's a time and a place for it. When you're in the gym training, you're in the middle of something, like maybe not so much then, but yeah, sure. If someone asks me a question and I don't have anything going on, I'll sit there and answer it the best of my ability. And if I don't know the answer, I'll probably go find the answer and come back and tell them. So.
Yeah. It's just kind of interesting as people start gaining size or getting bigger. It never fails. People are always asking questions on what to do about diets and working out. And I'm sure y'all have had where people are asking you, "Hey, can I work out with you?" And I have that all the time. People want to work out, and because I'm kind of like you, Ben. For me personally, I can keep my intensity up when I'm by myself because I know my intensity. And if they can't, like Des said, if they can't match that, then I start fading down to where they're at, and I got to make sure I'm staying up.
I think that's just where it takes off. It's not so much me working out anymore. It's kind of me pushing them and training them, and motivating them, and that's okay. It's just, like I said, there's a time and place for it. If I'm in the middle of prep, it's just not it, and I probably don't have those wandering eyes that are looking around at people either. So I'm kind of less approachable in those moments.
Yeah. A lot of people say, when we're working out, we're intense. We have the angry workout face, and people kind of get put off by that. They want to come up to you. But I don't know. I still have people come up to me all the time.
I work out at 365 Fitness, and it's here in Conway. It's a known powerhouse gym, and
it is.
And so when you're in prep, everybody in the gym knows you're in prep, and so they know they know the moments when to talk to you and when not to. And when you're going through prep, you don't look so happy and joyful, and people kind of know. They know what's up. So
definitely, and that's the good thing. I can say back, all my time when I lived in Conway, all my time spent at 365. I'd say a good thing that. So I wanted to ask you, the training at 365, just being around, the friends that understand what you're doing, and just being around members that have seen enough, of competitors in the gym, of just being able to witness that and just know that, hey, this is what they're doing and this is acceptable here. So do you feel like that makes you that much more comfortable to go to 365 and train there, being around in an environment to where it's accepted as to what you're doing being a competitor, if you see what I mean?
Yeah, I don't feel like an outsider. A lot of times I walk into a gym, I feel like I'm just the big guy everyone's staring at, and that's just a weird feeling.
Yeah.
The motivation is just so high to be in a gym just full of people that compete or have competed, whether it's powerlifting, bodybuilding, or whatever. It's just full of people that have just spent their lives in the gym, and so yeah, there's just good people to be around, and like I said, I think I'm more motivated being there than I am in any other gym that I've ever been to. And to know that there's people in there that are better than me too, like that just keeps me pushing. So you can look up on the wall and see people like Brent Scroggins or just Brooke Walker, or even Philip Brewer, who's a powerlifter that holds, I think he still holds a world record. You know, being a company of people like that. And I look up constantly and just see them on the wall, and it's just like, okay, that's just that much more motivation for me to do better when I'm in that gym.
Yeah. Well, Ben, appreciate you being on the show, man. We're going to try to let you get back to eating. I know you got to eat some chicken and some rice, man.
I'm sitting
working on it. Still getting it down.
you got to get it down, man. Well, hey, appreciate you being on here, and man, we look forward to having you back as we kind of figure out this virus deal, man, and see where people are going to start laying down to compete. But we want to get you back and follow your prep, and man, just appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.